Hello friends, you're with a lonesome gamer, and I'm playing Dungeon Universalis. Okay, so the last adventure was a mess. I've lost terribly. Was overwhelmed. The sorceress died, and but I gotta say, I'm not too angry about that. I think she was hard to play with the extreme restrictions for the weapons she had. Using gunpowder weapons is difficult. You will draw attention, and therefore I think that I'm not too angry that she's no longer part of the group. And especially the witch will be happy because you don't want to travel with a witch hunter if you're a witch. So, or the wannabe witch, let's say it that way. She wants to be queen of witches. So, I guess she's not too badly missed. On the other hand, her owl is also gone now. She goes on her own adventure when her master is gone, and she will be missed. She was cool. I like the owl. Or maybe we find another one. Okay, but the issue I have now is I'm struggling with these dumb campaign rules that are a mess, I think the rules of the game in general are really well written, and they are very, very intuitive, and they work actually very well. There's a lot of detail, there are a lot of rules you have to constantly check at the beginning, but it seems all intuitive, it makes sense, but the campaign rules are just terrible. They are a mess. I hate them. I might be stupid and I might simply not get it because it's just not my type of rules, and maybe the way they are written is just not my style. But I think there's a very, very big difference between the standard rules, the dungeon rules, the combat rules, all that kind of stuff, and the campaign rules. They feel very, very different, and it is they give you much more, I don't know, it just feels not logical to me at all. Especially the whole turn structure and how that works is very, very weird to me. So the first thing is the danger markers. I think I get it right now. I mean, in general, it's a problem. If you have a campaign map, you're gonna have to find a way to save that. It's easy to save the heroes after a quest. You just put them in an envelope and you're good. And this envelope comes with the game and it works just fine. But the campaign map is a different beast. You have to, even if you just build a dungeon here, you gotta get rid of this campaign map somehow. Of course, you can place it somewhere else on a table or so, but I just fold it and put it aside and then bring it out again when it becomes necessary. So until now, I basically just kind of remembered what was going on there, and of course I was always confused. So now I'm actually willing to make a photo at the end of this thing, and so I remember what's going on there. I'm pretty sure I got it right now. So the thing was, when I first rested at the inn, the first marker should have been placed here. Because I rolled a die and I rolled a 6 and it worked out. A marker showed up here. And then, so we can do it like this, for example. So we had that marker here. And then I started traveling, and I should have moved the marker here, I guess, when I traveled. And then I didn't do the wolf adventure successfully, so I should have placed another marker here. And because whenever you do not accomplish an adventure, the guy gets a marker, the dark player. And that's exactly what happens now. I mean, I didn't do the other adventure successfully too, the bandit's den, so I got to place a second marker here. And in this starting location, there can be more than one markers, and the others is not possible. And then I traveled back to Verneck, so that means I have to move these markers now. So the first one goes here, the second one goes here, And the third one is, I think, down here, because that's the quickest way to the heroes apart from that. So I think that's the way it should be right now. Okay, fine. It's getting more complicated here with the turn structure. I simply don't get it. I really tried, but I get totally confused whenever I do it. So I'm going to try it again. Maybe this time I get it, because I simply don't understand which week I'm actually in. So here's the thing. I wanted to start in week 13, because it's the first week after the winter. Okay, great. So in this week, what I did is I remained in the region, okay? And I traveled here, and I forgot to roll a die there. That's not important anymore. And then I did the adventure. Okay, cool. So that means that this was my first week. And it was basically the travel step, and the adventure kind of ends that week, if I understand that right. So that's kind of the end of the week. It's a weekend. Okay, so that's the first week. It sounds crazy, but you know, I really try to understand that, because I calculated this now 4 times and it felt always wrong. Okay, great. So then, after I did that, I traveled back to Verneck. Okay, that happened in my second week. And here's the thing. I think that the stay in Verneck, basically in the same way as an adventure, as a quest here, was basically my still part of that second week. It was not an additional week or something. So traveling, the traveling inside the region was what took the time, and the stay there, even though I stayed in an inn, was basically just the end of the week. And I find that very, very counterintuitive. So I was still in week 2 after my stay at the inn. And then when I moved here and encountered the wolves, and also the other, the quest of the bandit's den, all that was week 3, in my opinion. Okay, so at the bandit's den, the other lady died, and all that happened in week 3. And then we traveled back, and that's when week 4 happened and started. We had no encounter here. And I think... it gets tricky now. Okay, so that is that is all week 4, right? Traveling back. And then we had to draw another card in here. No, actually, oh boy. I don't know. Did I even have to, I think I had to roll for that. You know, that's the thing. You go in here and you have to, I think I have to roll for that. And then if I go in here, I also have to roll for that. I don't just have to roll for this. Although maybe that would have been more reasonable, because it's the same amount of time that passes. I think there is no additional time if I travel in this region and visit the city. I think that actually takes no additional time. So I think that visiting the city is still week 4. This is a terrible system. I have no idea who came up with this, but it's a total disaster. You know, I think actually what I'm going to do is, if I enter a region and if I want to visit a city there, I'm not going to roll for the region. I'm just going to roll for the city. Otherwise, it makes me crazy. Because I think it is just one step, basically. The time basically passes only once. I'm not going to do that. It just makes me crazy otherwise. So, yeah, I'm just going to go to the city, and I think that was week 4. So traveling from here to here took me 1 week, but I rolled twice. I think I shouldn't. I will not do that anymore. It's stupid. But now here, now it becomes even more complicated. So this thing is 1 week, right? I mean, I traveled from here to here, and it's week 4. Great. And it also meant that these guys moved. Okay, cool. But now what happens when I'm here? And I want to do something here. You know, I mean, I think it's still week 4, even though I kind of rested there. But it feels like this is more like a quest here, you know. Being there and fighting in the den of the bandits, that also didn't add a week. And I think it's the same here. I think when you are in the city, it's still part of the traveling step from here to here. You roll a die for the action if you have an encounter. You read your campaign book, which we did, and I think we can also visit the inn, and everybody of our group can visit up to 3 spaces, and the inn is included in that. I think that's what happens. And then, if for any reason we want to stay longer in the city, for example, if we want to visit more spaces, then more time would pass. Okay, so I think I'm in week 4. So that means I'm not in 15, but in week 16 now. Oh wait, I thought I'm in week 4. Well, I'm in week 16. You know, this is all very, very, very weird. Okay, so I guess this could be about right. So it's week 16, and I'm in Verneck, and I was at the inn. I paid $2, and we can... Yeah, okay, cool. So let's see again. First, after I was at the inn, I was only there with 2 heroes. I want to hire a new guy, and I already did that randomly again. I needed a scout, and you know, I mean, I got not the best reputation here, so I said, oh, who wants to join me on a great journey? And the first lady just died after my first adventure. And guess what? The only guy who volunteered was Kermit the Frog. Awesome. Now I got a great miniature for him. We could take this guy here. No, we won't. I mean, that was just a joke. I'm gonna take, let me see, I got something here for him. Where is it? Yeah, this one here. I mean, it's not very, very charming, but this is gonna be my new hero now. And it is, his name is Crapley. What? His name is Crapley? Awesome. So no payment in advance, I can guarantee you that. Okay, and yeah, he's an amphibian scout. Okay. This is ridiculous. Okay, now if we flip the card here, we get a better impression. I find that weird. I mean, how small is this guy? He rides a locust? I don't know, how big is that locust? And if he really rides a locust, and you know, he shoots arrows. I mean, how small is that guy? And how powerful are his weapons then? But I think he's not that small. It's probably some kind of giant locust or something. Otherwise, it would be pretty ridiculous. So the thing is, let's see. So he is an amphibian. And he actually, most of his values are fine. He's pretty fast. Well, he's not that fast. No, he's not that fast. He only has a... Oh, wait a minute. No, actually, these are his actual values here. Okay, so he's got a movement of 5, which is fine. Combat value of 4, which is great. Or it's okay. A strength of 2, well, that is definitely a problem. So if he uses standard melee weapons, most of them deal damage, which also depends on the strength. So that is an issue. But then again, he's got a really good shooting value, solid armor, good agility, fine intelligence, solid courage, but he doesn't have a lot of life points. Okay, he's got a ton of fortune though. I guess he's gonna need it the way I'm playing. And let's see, he cannot carry a lot, not at all, only up to 10 points. That is not great. And he's got leather armor, a short bow, a scimitar, picklocks, red poison, dexterity potion, and a strength potion. Okay, so strength potion gives you a +2 to user strength for the next 3 strength tests or successful hits in melee combat or throwing weapons. Pretty good. Dexterity potion we already know gives you, obviously a bonus on dexterity and other things. Picklocks, +1 to target to users' dexterity only for users with no negative dexterity values. They break in case of a critical failure. Okay, that can be useful, I guess. Red poison automatically removes the special elements vermin swarm and vermin rat. Fine. We got a scimitar, which I like. -2 damage dice against targets using heavy armor or shield, so that's not so great. It does damage strength +2. Now that's the thing, if we're fighting against someone who uses a shield, I would only get 2 damage dice, because he only has a strength of 2, and it's a -2 against targets with shield, so that's not so great. He's got a short bow, which does 3 damage. Okay. And he wears a leather armor. Okay, that gives +1. And is a -1 to use his agility. Okay. So he is already wearing, that is a 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, he is already wearing equipment. 10 equipment, or that weighs 10, so he is already at his limit. So let's see, what about his profession here? He begins the skill Eagle Eye with the skill Eagle Eye. First increase of movement and shooting. It requires 1 less point than usual. He can't wear heavy armor. At any increases of strength requires 1 more point than usual. Yeah. Okay. So okay. So let's see what his skills tell us. And here it says, this guy is small, sneaky, and stealthy. They begin with the skills Stealth, Small, and Pathfinder in forest, flooded area, and swamp. Okay, so Pathfinder, character ignores difficult terrain. This skill only applies to one specific kind of terrain specified in the character's profile. Okay. Small. Those trying to shoot at this character suffer a -1 penalty. Characters with this skill cause 1 damage die less when using projectile weapons. Not so with throwing weapons. They also get a +1 to their, what is that? Perception. Okay, that's good. That's very good. But he's definitely not a guy who does a lot of damage. Stealth. Character may ignore an enemy's melee range once per combat turn. This skill can be used by large characters or while equipping heavy armor. I can't be used. Okay. So we don't have that restriction. And it says Eagle Eye. Character gets a +1 to perception rolls, detecting traps, inspecting halls, or searching for secret doors. When shooting at an enemy, he may also ignore light cover. Okay, so it does not help us with... it does not help us with initiative rolls. That's not so good. So we get an advantage for because we're small when it comes to initiative rolls, but not for anything else, not for this one. Okay, so that's not so good. Okay, so let's see what I'm gonna find a way to kind of let's see what I want to visit there. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so again, these are the places where we can go. We're definitely not going to the lender. We're not going to the king's or governor's quarters, and we're also not going to the treasurer. Okay, so we can put these aside. What we have a market, the stables, the tavern, the inn, and the physician. So we already were at the inn. I guess we don't need that anymore either. So these 4 basically stay. And so we might want to go to the physician to buy healing herbs, healing potions, stuff like that. And so the basic idea is I want better weapons. So to do that, I got to go to a blacksmith, and we find a blacksmith here. So basically, I think I want to go there. It's on my way to the Guardian Hills. Basically, I got a feeling I want to go to. That is Itania, it seems. So we're gonna travel like this, and then probably go here, I guess. So I'm not gonna spend all my money or whatever. I'm just gonna. I think I want to go to the blacksmith and. So let's see. But the physician is here. Okay. A market. We also get healing potions there. Sling. The stables. Now right now it seems we can only I think we can only get horses there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that. So it doesn't really help us. Tavern, well, we could try. But it's a little tricky. Okay, so actually I think I want to go to the market, and yeah, I think she goes to the market. She grabs the money of the other guy, and so she could buy a tool. Usually you're not allowed to be equipped with weapons. She isn't. Can only be armed with daggers, staffs, or magical swords. Maybe I should buy her a dagger. Now she could use that. Maybe used even by characters for whom weapons are restricted. Maybe a dagger. I'm not sure which one is better. I think a dagger is actually better than a tool. I think it gives you a bonus. So I think I might buy a dagger for her. So I think I want to buy these 2 daggers for $2. They can be used as throwing weapons, and they might actually be useful, especially if I'm out of spells. I think they are fine. And so yeah, I can get that stuff at the market. And then I can try, there's a possible rare object. Roll 1d6 per group and campaign turn when heroes visit a market. On a result of 6, a merchant will offer you 1 random magic object for the usual price. So maybe we're lucky here. Let's see. No. Okay, so it didn't happen. Okay, so I guess that's it. Cool, that wasn't so bad. I like that option. And now we could go to the physician, and I think I want to do that with, I don't know, the dwarf, or maybe, I mean, she could do it again, technically. It doesn't really matter. And I think I want to buy probably 2 healing potions, maybe 1's healing herb. We still have 3 healing herbs, but I think 2 healing potions could be useful, so I think I want to go with that. Okay, I mean, that's a lot of money. $8. Each of them costs $4, but they are very, very important, and so I'm going to spend that. And I guess this is it. So I think I'm done in Verneck. And I'm ready to leave the city. Okay, so now I guess a new week starts, because I start traveling. So now I'm in week 17. And we're leaving Verneck. Okay, it's already a little tricky. I think I cannot immediately travel into this area. I think when you leave a city, you first have to encounter basically the symbol of the area where it is in. So that means, yeah, I guess we have to encounter the plane here. I guess so. So let's do that. First we got to see, we got to find the right deck. Okay, this is, so on a 5+, we're going to have an event there. Okay, that is not the case. So now we basically travel into the adjacent region. And this is here. Okay, so that means we roll again, and this time it's the forest. So again, on a 5+, we're going to have an event. Okay, we don't. However, we have a 1. On a 1, if there is an independent quest in this area, we are allowed, this is unlocked now, and it stays unlocked, I think either for until the end of the year or forever. I'm not sure, I gotta check that. But I'm gonna find if there is even maybe there is no independent quest. I gotta check that. So yeah, there actually was an independent quest. It was indicated in the quest book, and there are little flags and all that show you where. I can show you that. So it is, yeah, it's right here. You can see, and there the blue quest indicates, okay, this is I think it's a blue quest, or maybe not. No, yeah, it does actually. The yellow quest is the official quest of the campaign, and the blue quest is the independent quest. So that means We could play this independent quest whenever we go back there. But honestly, I think I don't want to do that right now, because first I want to have better weapons, and then I might still choose to go down there and do the independent quest, and maybe then go to the Guardian Hills. I'm not sure about that. But I want the weapons first. Okay, so that was that, and I traveled. And I think now, because I traveled, these guys also travel. Okay, so let's do that. These move here, and this guy moves there, and this guy moves here. Okay, great. And now we continue moving, and I'm going to move now here to Atania, and I'm going to roll for the city. I'm not going to roll. I find that super confusing to roll also for this thing. I don't know if I should do that. I think I'm only going to roll for the city here. And I moved again, and that means these guys also will move. So, I don't know. I think this guy probably moves here. And, oh boy, this guy moves here, and this guy then moves here. Okay, and yeah, so I'm going to roll for the city here. Now let's see. The city is this one here. So on a 4+, we're going to have an encounter. I'm not even sure if it's a city. I think it's more a castle, but I don't really know that. Okay, there's no encounter there. So that means now we enter the city and nothing happens there. And now we can visit the blacksmith. We also have stables, but we don't want to go there. There is a combat school there. And there is this kind of potion maker, or what? The alchemist, I think it is. So I'm definitely interested in the blacksmith. Okay, and so we are now at the armory, blacksmith armory. And basically it says you can buy there all weapons and armor. There are some specific uncommon weapons. And I wonder if we have some of them here. No. And you got to do a special roll for them to check if they're available or not, which is a neat rule. And you can also repair weapons that break for half the selling price. Okay, so the thing is, I want to house rule that. This is always my thing, you know. I also in games like Fortune and Glory or Touch of Evil or so, I don't like it if there's basically everything available. Here you already have a restriction with these uncommon items where you have to do a roll and it's harder to get them, but still, I just, you know, I feel that when you do that, there will be a lot of items that you simply will never buy because you're just not that good. I don't know if I would ever buy an axe or a mace, for example. I think they are not good, and therefore I find it kind of sad if you never do that. So what I want to do is I kind of randomize that, and I will only the top 5 cards will be actually available. If there is one of these uncommon items where you have to make a roll, I still do that roll, and if it didn't work out, the card is discarded, and I draw another one instead. So let's see what we find here. Okay, that is a Morning Star, which is kind of neat, I guess. We have a short sword. Well, okay, not that great. We might have a flail. Now the flail, you got to roll for that. You see here, this is an uncommon item. So you need a 6 or more on 2 dice. And we'll see if it's available. And it's not. Okay, so this card gets discarded. And we continue. Okay, we might have an Iron Fist. So let's see. We need a 7 for that. Nah, no way. Nope. We have a Spear, which is a long-range weapon. These are kind of interesting. Oh, we might have a double-headed axe. If we roll an 8, that would be awesome. I would love to have that. And we roll an 8. Fantastic. So there is a double-headed axe. And we have a falcata sword. Okay, cool. So these are the 5 weapons that are available here. And I'm also going to do the same thing with the ranged weapons, with these, with the shield and with the armor, but I'm only gonna draw 3 of them because they have smaller stacks. So I'm gonna only draw 3. Okay, so these are all the items that are available, and I think it is more interesting that way because, you know, if you have all that crap here, you're totally overwhelmed. At least that's my case, you know. That's the case for me. I find it really hard, but here it's not that hard. You can see what is on the table, and you have to make still some interesting decisions because you don't know if you get the same thing next time again. If the might be sold out, or maybe they don't have it in another place. So I kind of like that more. Let's see. We already seen the weapons here. Now we have a crossbow here, a javelin, and a shuriken. And here we were lucky with the rolls here. We have an elven shield, a great shield, both pretty uncommon, and a shield. Here we even have a Larneal armor, which is super rare, but it costs $25 and we cannot afford that. We have a leather armor and we have a breastplate, which seems to be exactly the same as the chainmail. I don't see any difference between the two. The price, the weight, it's all the same. Both is heavy armor +2, and it's exactly the same. So these two, we don't need the breastplate. That goes away. I think we don't need all that. We won't buy any armor. I mean, he could maybe, no, he cannot. I think he cannot wear heavy armor. So therefore, no armor for us. But I think we might buy maybe the crossbow. I'm interested in this. And here I have the interesting decision to make. If I want to buy, for example, the double-headed axe, first we got to count how much money we have. We have $11. So we could, for example, afford the crossbow and the double-headed axe. That would be just fine. And I got a feeling like that's what we're going to do. I could also, maybe I'm going to sell something and try to buy the shuriken here. I could sell one of these, or maybe even both of them, the axe or the mace. I could definitely sell one. So I get another $1 for that. I could also take the Morning Star and a shield as a dwarf, right? The Morning Star, on the other hand, seems to be pretty much the same as the axe. Is it? No, there's a... it's a little different. Critical failure on a result of double 1, 2, or 3, but equal or smaller sized targets are stunned in case of a critical hit. Okay, that's interesting. So this is a tough choice. The Great Shield is obviously awesome. It blocks 50% of the hits, basically. I mean, if you roll a 4, it simply blocks. So this is pretty great. On the other hand, this thing is also great, and I feel like, yeah, this is probably it. It's I already have the chainmail, and it's going to be hard to do a lot of damage against me. I have 5 life points, so I might not really need the great shield, but the double-headed axe is pretty awesome. It does a lot of damage, also against people who have shields. If you do a critical hit, all non-magic shields blocking the attack will break. That's pretty cool. A tough choice here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for the double-headed axe. I will sell... Does it matter? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna sell the mace for $1. You only get half of it back. So in this case, I guess it's rounded down. So I'm gonna sell the mace for $1. And now I guess I can buy the shuriken, the double-headed axe, and the crossbow. Or do I want to buy a spear? Nah, probably not. I think I want to do it like this. This is good for this guy. Crossbow does clearly more damage than the short bow. It has to be reloaded, but I can do 1 shot with it, and then I can exchange it, for example. So I think that's fine. And costs $5. However, that thing has a weight of 3. Oh boy, I gotta give away some of the other things here, but yeah, I cannot carry a lot. That is a little bit of a problem. So let's see. Okay, so I guess I'm done. I bought the double-headed axe and the crossbow. Now that wasn't so easy for him because he basically had to give a lot of his stuff to her. You can see she's carrying all that small crap. She's got a big backpack. Because of his strength of 10, you can only carry 10, right? And that crossbow and the leather armor are already 6. So it's just 4 more down here. The short bow, because he doesn't have to reload that, which is the good thing. So he can do 1 shot with a crossbow. That's a good one. And then he can change to the short bow. And if it comes to a close combat, he can use the scimitar. And if things are getting tricky, he can use the strength potion to get more power in close combat. Okay, she's got all that crap here. So basically, she's got the staff. That is her weapon, right? She can use the daggers too, which are fine, and she can use them as throwing weapons. She's got a lot of potions here, the 2 healing potions, and she also got the picklocks. So the idea is, because he is the scout, usually he wants to open the doors and make the perception test or the initiative test. But the idea is that I'm gonna, if there is a locked door, I'm gonna place her next to the door. So he's gonna stand in front of the door, and she's gonna stand then next to it, and she's gonna then use the picklocks to open the door, and then he can do the perception test. I think the rules allow for that. And it just says the guy who is closest. So I think it's fine if he does that. And yeah, I mean, for him, not too much changed. He still has his the axe. Yeah, I mean, now he can do it like this. And he has now the cool axe. That is definitely great. And we got $1 left. Okay. So if we got to go to the inn again to heal, we're gonna need some money now. So let's hope. And this is why I actually want to go to the Guardian Hills immediately and not do that side quest, because if things go wrong in that side quest, I mean, the same risk is obviously in the Guardian Hills, but I have no idea. Let's say I take a couple of wounds and I don't make much money out of that side quest. It could happen that I'm weakened, but I cannot afford to go to the inn, and then I basically have to continue to the Guardian Hills. A similar thing happened in my last adventure. You know, I was kind of weakened because of the wolves, and then I fucked up the main adventure. I think if not for the wolves, my chances were much better. But in this case, okay. So I was here now. That was my action here. And now we're gonna move on. Okay. So that means another week basically goes by. So it's week 18 now. Okay, so we're leaving the city, and that means we got to roll now for this plane. And I think, if I remember that right, on a 4+, on a 5+, we have an event, and we do indeed. So we got to shuffle these, and then we'll see what happens. Get this, and it's a windmill. You pass by an impressive windmill on top of a hill. The miller comes out to meet you as you approach and breathes a sigh of relief when he sees that you have no intention of stealing from him. He offers you accommodation in his home until the next day. Each character recovers up to 1 vitality, fortune, and mana points at no cost. Okay, well, that doesn't happen. And we also don't buy anything. So okay, at least that wasn't bad. And now these guys will also travel because we traveled. So this guy moves now. Oh boy, he moves here. Is that one region? Hard to tell. I don't think so. No, there are 2 symbols here. So then this guy moves here, and this guy moves here, I guess. Okay. And now I'm gonna travel here into the Guardian Hills, and we have the mountains there. So let's find the cards for the mountains. Yeah, maybe they're back there. There they are. On a 5+, we're going to have an encounter there. Some tables would be helpful here, to be honest. Maybe it would have been easier with tables. Okay, so no encounter there. Great. And that means these guys move, I guess. So this guy moves here, I guess. And this guy moves here. And yeah, this guy moves here. Okay, fine. So now we're going to have the quest with a giant. And I'm going to make a picture of this, especially of this part here, to remember how it looks. And then we can remove the map and go to the quest. Okay, so let's see now. Now this time I'm going to use the app. I haven't played the scenario. I played the last one already, so there I didn't use the app because there was no surprise in the last scenario, because I already knew it. But this time I don't know what awaits me at all. So therefore I'm going to use the app. And I mean, obviously, if I'm filming from a display, the colors and all are horrible, but I think you get maybe a little bit the idea. So this is the app, welcome, and so on. And we're gonna go onto this here, and it says, I think, mission maps. Exactly. And here we can now find the mission. Okay, where is that? What does it say? I think it's number 4. Which one? Was it this one? Oh boy, it's already getting tricky. Was it mission number 4, the standard mission, the Hall of Mirrors? I gotta check that. It might have been that. Okay, so actually it's mission number it's mission number 10. Hunting the great creature. I hope it's not too bad. So let's see. Okay, so we go to the introduction first. And it says the creature's tracks sink into the hard ground like the footprints of a human on a sand beach. Its weight must be incredible. Now you come to understand the terror of the locals. Some have told you that they have seen it drag huge oxen with one hand. It is easy to follow the trail of such a large creature, but no one dares to enter the cave where it lurks. Who knows what kind of object and belongings lie among the carcasses of its unfortunate victims? Well, we'll find out, I guess. Goal. Knock out the quest leader. Okay. Faction. Fantastic insects. Okay, so I'm going to find in the bestiary the cards of that. Of these guys. These are all fantastic insects. Special rules. Darkness. All sections of the scenario considered indoors will be affected by the darkness card, except the main section. Well, that's not so good. She is lost in the dark. What does that mean? It means that -1 to all attributes, except armor, vitality, and mana, while in a section under the effect of darkness or complete darkness. -1 to shooting at enemies in a dark section, even if shooters are in a well-illuminated area themselves. Okay. Weather. Roll 1d6 before activating any hero. With a result of 1, it will rain in the outdoor scenario sections. All characters will get a -1 penalty to shoot and move if they are activated or perform actions in these sections. Okay, so let's see. We don't want a 1. Okay, it's a 3, so no rain. Very good. Setup. Reserve point and achievement counters before building the dark players back. Okay. Okay, so we gotta discard a couple of cards from the deck. The darkness is put aside at no cost. There's no thief. Okay. Okay, so let's prepare all that stuff. Okay, so these are the decks. We have very restricted obstacle deck, as we've already seen. And bad news is the dark player had to spend 20 points of his reserve points for the leader. So he's only at 10, but oh boy, I'm expecting a really rough boss there. So let's see. Okay, this is, so we go to the tiles and yeah, exactly. You press this button here and now it starts. And you can immediately see the first section here. So let's get it out. This is where we start. And what does that mean? Oh, you could search for secret doors? Inside that area? Weird. So we cancel that. And yeah, this is an exploration area back there. So if we reach these, we explore then the next part of the level. So for now, we just need this specific section here. Okay, so you can see now the tile. Place it here. And yeah, we're gonna make it here. So it's the first turn. And we're gonna start moving. And I'm gonna start with him. And I gotta speed up a little bit, I guess. So I'm gonna move not only 2 squares or 3 squares. I wanna move here so that in the next turn I can try to get to the next room. So it's 1, 2, 3, and now I'm leaving the safe zone, and I'm gonna roll a die, and it is an obstacle, so it wasn't too great. I'm going to draw a card. And it says Rock Slide. It affects the square occupied by the character who activated the trap. Okay, so we got to check. We have a perception test of 9 if we want to avoid that. Okay, so we have so it's a +1, and the eagle eye is another +1. Okay. So that means we're gonna need a 7 to avoid that. And this guy gonna spend 3 points. And yeah, so he already spent 20 points for the leader. So he's now down to 7 points. So let's see. Yeah. Okay, wait a minute. We got 7 fortune. So I think I might actually try to do another roll here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try another roll. Not a good start here. So we need a 7. Come on. Okay, we did it. We were lucky this time, we did it. So, yeah. However, he gets an extra point because I had to spend a fortune. So this card goes away. Not that great. Okay, and I wonder if I am allowed to move on. I think I can. I think I can. 5. So yeah, I don't see a reason why not. But I gotta check it. I'm gonna check it. Okay, so actually I'm not able to move. I have to step back to the square, to 1 square here, because here was the rock slide. So I had to, I was kind of shocked and I had to step back. And this is the end of my activation. So it wasn't that great. It did cost him 3 points, which is nice, but it also gave him one of these, and I lost a fortune point. Kind of sucks. And I'm gonna need definitely 2 more actions to go here, so that wasn't great at all. Okay, so now let's do the others. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now this lady can activate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No reasons to take any more risks here. Didn't work out. So we go into the next turn, and now it's him again. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. That's it. Well, he could move 6, but it doesn't really matter. And if I would have run, but okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we could reveal it, but I don't want to take a risk here. And now it's her. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we go into the next turn, and now it's this guy, and he's now going to reveal the next section. So let's see what that is. Go here. Okay, so it's another outdoor section. Now we got to check if we will find a creature there. I'll roll a die. And yes, indeed. We're going to have an encounter there. So let's draw a card. Okay, and it's the enemy spotted. So let's see. We're going to draw here. Or we're going to roll here. Enemy spotted. And good news, he only has 7 points left. So I'm going to roll a die. We got to add 1. Oh boy, that's 7. And look at that. 4 great spiders, but that would cost him 8 victory points. He doesn't have that much. So it says, so we got to go down 1 space, and it's 3 great spiders instead. So that costs him 6 victory points, or value points, so he's down to 1 right now. And we got to place 3 spiders in the area. Okay, there it is. So it says, crouch they lie in wait for their victims, weaving webs that cover entire corridors. You'd better eliminate them from a distance, or you will suffer their poisonous bite. Ugh, that is not good. Okay, yeah, that's not cool. So let's see. Okay, I gotta find a way how to place them. So let's find out. So technically, it says you place them 3 spaces opposite to the guy, but that would be right next, that would be here on the stone. That cannot be the case. This is blocked. So I guess the first one is actually placed here, because usually you always go to the right. If I'm not mistaken here, I think you go to the right, and that means the first one would be placed here, the second one here, and the third one would then placed here. I think it should be like this. Okay, now let's take a closer look. Let's see how bad they are. Well, they're fast. Combat value of 3, that's not so bad. Armor of 4, that is not good, but it's not terrible. Agility 3, okay, 4 life points. I guess they're not terrible. They do 3 damage. Skills, Raging Mount, Poisonous, that sounds dangerous. Pathfinder, Spiderwebs, and Climber. Okay, so let's see what that says. Raging Mount can be ridden by creatures of the same size or smaller. Crazy. Poisonous. If it causes the loss of 1 life point, roll 1d6. If the result equals or exceeds the enemy natural armor, it will get the condition poisoned and will lose 1 extra life point. That sounds dangerous. Pathfinder ignores difficult terrain. This skill only applies to 1 specific what kind of terrain? Okay, we don't have spider webs here. Climber. Character may re-roll any failed agility rolls when climbing or jumping. Okay. So, yeah, I guess basically only the poison has an impact here. The other things are not that interesting. But you know what? Before we actually start this combat, I guess this is the right time to load it up. It's a good cliffhanger here. And yeah, hope to see you on the next video or on lonesomegamer.com.